What if there is a mirrorless camera that can shoot 6K raw video in camera at 60 frames per second uncropped, 120 frames per second in 4K, and 240 frames per second in full HD? And wait for it, all this and much more at an affordable price. Well, that camera is the new Nikon Z6III. Now this camera is a game changer. I've had this camera for 3 weeks now, and we have shot 2 fashion shoots in Nigeria, and we have gone to Namibia to shoot more fashion and wildlife. This camera is a 24 megapixel camera that comes with the world's first partially stacked CMOS sensor. What Nikon has done here is to take some of the sensor technology of the Z8 and the Z9 and put into the Z6III. This makes it possible for this camera to get much faster results. Do things like pre-capture up to 120 frames per second. Pre-capture is like taking the photograph before you even press your shutter, which is unbelievable. You'll be able to view fast-moving objects, in the electronic viewfinder. This camera holds the world's brightest EVF at 4000 CDM. The viewfinder is so bright. It came in handy for most of the outdoor photo shoots, both stills and video, with the super high resolution 5760K dot of the electronic viewfinder. I can view the images I'm shooting in their full resolution and color, even while shooting in the hot desert sun. It has a powerful autofocus that detects 9 different subject types. So while I was in Namibia, I found myself between shooting a model and some flamingos. And because the camera has a mode where it recognizes different subject types, I didn't need to go back to the camera to change the settings. And this autofocus system is much more reliable and sticks to the subject, very sticky on the 3D tracking mode. The camera has an internal electronic VR for image stabilization. This helps handheld videos and shooting in low light. And let's talk about the main feature that sets this camera apart. For those of us that like to shoot high-resolution video, the variety of video modes that this camera can shoot, I can only describe as insane given the price point that is. It can shoot 6K video for up to 60 frames per second in RAW mode internally. This means that you don't need all those external recorders like the Autofocus Ninja to shoot NRAW, and all of this in full frame and uncropped. It can also shoot 4K at 120 frames per second. A lot of times, we want to shoot in slow motion without losing resolution. In this video, I wanted to capture the model jumping and running, and the camera delivered beautifully. Then for those of us that want to shoot super slow motion, this camera can shoot 24 frames in full HD mode. The screen is a flip out fully articulated screen. You can flip out and turn the screen to yourself. This is quite useful for vloggers. At the same time, when you're shooting vertically and you need to take the camera up, this can come in extremely handy. I absolutely enjoyed it while shooting this fashion shoot where I had to lift my camera up. All in all, this camera is a total game changer for people who shoot hybrid, people who shoot photography and video. And given the price point of this camera, is the ultimate deal.